Hi there, I'm Dr. Ross Pelton, pharmacist, author, certified clinical nutritionist, and scientific director with Essential Formulas. I mentioned I'm a pharmacist. I'm really a recovering pharmacist, no longer counting pills, but educating people. Today we're going to talk about Dr. Ohirra's probiotics, and I want to explain to our viewers what makes Dr. Ohirra's probiotics so unique and so special, and we feel superior to all other probiotic products in the world. Dr. Ohirra was possibly the first scientist in the world, at least one of the first, that conceptualized increased benefits in probiotic products by creating what we call a multi-strain formula. Dr. Ohirra's probiotics are made using 12 individual strains of probiotic bacteria. And an important concept that's starting to be better understood in the realm of science related to the microbiome is that a healthier microbiome will have a wider diversity, which means more different types of bacteria. So rather than just ingesting one or two strains of bacteria, you're going to get wider benefits by ingesting more different strains. And so Dr. Ohirra's was one of the first multi-strain probiotics. Secondly, it's important to feed your probiotics well. And in Dr. Ohirra's production process, they have a very unique manufacturing process that uses large fermentation vats. And this is what sets Dr. Ohirra's probiotics apart from all other probiotic products in the world. In the fermentation vats, we start out with 12 strains of probiotic bacteria. And then at seasonally appropriate times throughout the year, when foods are at their peak of ripeness, there's over 90 different types of organically grown foods that are shredded and added to the fermentation vats. And this becomes the prebiotic food supply for your probiotic bacteria, or for the probiotic bacteria in Dr. Ohirra's production process. And then the bacteria are allowed to grow or ferment in these fermentation vats for 5 years. Now, it sounds like a long time, and it really is. This is a very labor and time-intensive process for the production of Dr. Ohirra's probiotics. But what Dr. Ohirra has done, and I think as part of this educational program, we'll put up a picture of the fermentation vats so people can actually see them on the screen for a few seconds and get a visual impact and a visual understanding of what these fermentation vats are and how they function. So Dr. Ohirra created an external system that mimics the gastrointestinal tract in humans. I use the term bioreactors. Now, bioreactors are systems that are used in industry where you have microorganisms like yeast or bacteria that will digest or ferment with a substrate to produce a desirable end product. Examples of industrial fermentation with bioreactors are, for example, the production of wine, the production of beer, production of ethanol. A lot of animal feeds are used or produced with bioreactors. And actually, the human gastrointestinal tract is a bioreactor. We put in foods, bacteria digest it, and the bacteria produce actually hundreds of thousands of different compounds. And we're starting to get an understanding now that it's the compounds that probiotic bacteria produce in your gastrointestinal tract that's really the important work that probiotic bacteria do. So there's a term that we're starting to use to describe this. We call it postbiotic metabolites. These are the compounds that your probiotic bacteria produce in your gastrointestinal tract. And in a book titled The Mind-Gut Connection, Dr. Emran Mayer makes a very interesting statement. He says that the vast number of bacteria in your intestinal tract, with their millions of genes, will transform food into hundreds of thousands of metabolites. And this is what's happening in Dr. Ohirra's probiotic production process. You've got the strains of probiotic bacteria that are provided with over 90 different types of prebiotic foods and allowed to grow and ferment for 5 years. And during that 5-year process, the bacteria in Dr. Ohirra's are producing a multitude of postbiotic metabolites. And these are the things that are going to control your immune system, regulate your acid-base balance, control digestion and absorption of nutrients and delivery of nutrients to your system, cell signaling compounds, immune system regulating compounds. There's just a vast number of compounds that are produced by your probiotic bacteria. So this is the work that your probiotic bacteria do. But Dr. Ohirra's probiotics are the only ones that are produced in a way that allow the bacteria to produce these postbiotic metabolites, so that when we encapsulate Dr. Ohirra's, you don't just get probiotic bacteria. You get probiotic bacteria, prebiotic food supply, and this multitude of postbiotic metabolites. So we call Dr. Ohirra's probiotics a complete microbiome system. And this is why Dr. Ohirra's probiotics is the best probiotic in the world for what I call rapid microbiome restoration. The reason you take probiotics is because you want to change your microbiome. You want to correct a bad situation, or if you have a good situation in your microbiome, you want to maintain it. But the reason that the probiotics are able to make that change is that they are producing these postbiotic metabolites. So that's the real secret to how to create and maintain a healthy microbiome, and an understanding of the work that probiotic bacteria do. When you take any other brand of probiotic bacteria that just contains the bacteria, it's kind of like a starter culture. Those bacteria haven't done any work yet. But in Dr. Ohirra's, when we encapsulate it, the bacteria have been working for 5 years to produce these postbiotic metabolites, and that's why we get such a rapid return of a microbiome to a healthy state. Now, I've got a couple of analogies that I've developed that help to explain how and why Dr. Ohirra's probiotics are so unique and so different. One of them is an automobile manufacturing plant and process. In the manufacture of automobiles, you have hundreds of workers utilizing thousands of parts, but the desirable end product is a car or a van or an SUV, some vehicle. The analogy is that the probiotic bacteria are your workers, and the parts that they need are the non-digestible carbohydrates that are in the multicolored fruits and vegetables that you eat. And the desired end products are the postbiotic metabolites. Another analogy that I use is soldiers going to war. Soldiers are fighters, but if you send a group of soldiers to war and they don't have the supplies they need, like uniforms and guns and tents and water and so forth, they're not going to do so well if they go into a battle zone and don't have the supplies they need. But more importantly, along with the supplies, they need to have firepower. And that can be tanks and bigger guns and rocket launchers and maybe air power for support and so forth. So that's the big firepower that's going to help the soldiers win the war. In the analogy with the probiotics and the microbiome, your probiotic bacteria are the soldiers, but you've got to supply them with their supplies, and their supplies are the prebiotic foods. And in Dr. Ohirra's, we supply them with over 90 different types of organically grown food. And then the firepower that makes the probiotics able to win the war are the postbiotic metabolites. And again, these are short-chain fatty acids and immune signaling compounds, and they are little vitamin factories. They're producing all your B vitamins and vitamin K and some of the critical amino acids. So these things are already being produced by Dr. Ohirra's probiotics. They're in the capsule when you take it. You're not just getting bacteria. You're getting a complete microbiome system that's capable of creating what we call rapid microbiome restoration. So there's nothing like Dr. Ohirra's. That's why we get faster results at recovery of a pathobiome to a healthy microbiome than any other probiotic in the world. That's the Dr. Ohirra's difference. Thanks for listening.